Teach2Teach Radio. Teach2Teach Radio. Education for all, for all, for all. Education for all, for all.
Welcome to Teach2Teach radio program. Today we are going to look at parents-teacher relations. With me to do the discussion are
Yaqub Mohammed Awal from Vakwel Soa.
Tufilu Said from Vakwel Soa Primary.
Idris Uhumu from Warwakuko Ahmadiyya Primary.
Ilyasu A. Sule, Pendul Primary.
Thank you. I am Alhaji Muhammad Al-Hassan Karimu, the moderator. You are all welcome.
Thank you.
Good. As I said, we're going to look at parent-teacher relations. You will bear with me that teachers do not work in isolation. They work with the community members to ensure good learning outcomes of their children. To what extent will you agree or disagree that parents should be actively involved in knowing what their children learn in school?
Thank you very much, Alhaji. I will agree to the fact that parents should be actively involved in their children's educational activities, in the sense that teachers cannot know students well as best as their parents. The parent can throw more light on the child's behavior and performance in the house, which will help the teacher to focus on the academic side than other parts of, let's say, correcting the child's behavior and stuff. If parents are actively involved, it will help the teachers a lot.
Do you
and
agree
the child
with her?
as well.
Yes, I do agree with her, but rather caution some parents, because sometimes some parents want to exhibit their powers on teachers. They feel that the parent is someone who is even higher than the teacher in terms of academic performance, or maybe on the academic ladder. So sometimes the parents will feel that what the teacher is doing, the teacher is not teaching my child the right thing, and they will not take their time to come to the teacher to share ideas, and they will rather want to maybe bully or harass the teacher. So I would rather want to caution parents to correlate with the teachers of their wards to make sure that they learn better.
I think parents being actively involved here doesn't mean they should go and challenge the teachers. I think they are just to throw more light on the child's behavior and also the performance of the child.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes some of them do that. Yes, some of them, they try to challenge their teacher. They will not. That is
Or
it.
they trespass.
That is it.
To stress on what Mr. Said said, I think to some extent,
Do you agree?
I think-
I said to some extent, I don't agree.
You don't agree?
One reason is that they end up beating some of the teachers. In terms
Their
of
engagement
their
with the
engagement with
teachers.
or the children. Sometimes a teacher may punish a child, and the parent, instead of going the right way to find out why such a child is punished, the parent rather go and attack the teacher. And we have instances in Tamale here where that happened, and teachers even went on strike.
Okay.
For me, looking at education, it is a process, not an event. So there must be a cordial relationship between the parent and the teacher. And the education shouldn't be only formal. I think we have informal way of education. Mostly that part should be at the side of the parent, and the formal side should be with the teacher. So if there is cordial relationship between the parents and the teachers, I think teaching and learning will be successful for the child.
Okay.
To add to this, I think when both the teacher and the caregiver are actively involved in the child's learning activities, I think this will also help boost the confidence of the child in the school when both teacher and the caregiver are involved. So I agree with you're saying that caregivers should be actively involved.
Yeah.
On one issue, I also agree with my colleagues, because it is important that parents should constantly visit a school to know the progress level of his child, and also to report to the teacher, especially the classroom teacher, the health status of the child, because a child may have a problem, like a situation where when I was in the junior high, there was one boy who was ill
Okay.
but we couldn't have recognized it sometimes until the way he behaved. So there was an argument between him and his colleague. He choked the colleague, a sharp object, and there was blood oozing out. So we had to send the child to hospital and then suspended the boy. And we required that the boy should come with the parent. So when the parent came, he told us that at the age of 10, the boy had illness.
Okay.
And they treated him. So I think it is very good they visit schools to inform them of the health status of the children and also to the learning progress of the child. I think on that part.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
Let's look at the benefits that these children will get if we have very good relationship between the parents and the teachers. What benefit will the children get?
I think the child will have confidence in learning, because if a teacher recognizes that the father is always in the school monitoring his progress, and in fact if he's doing well, it will boost his confidence level.
And again, if not stop, but it will minimize absenteeism in the school. If the child knows very well that the father may visit him or her in the school unexpected, the child will find a way of being in the class all the time.
To add to this, it also motivates the child to learn more. For instance, back at school, my mom used to visit my teachers in school, and whenever I see them, I become so excited because at the end of the day, when I come home, my mom tells me that this is what your teacher said, that you are doing well, so keep it up. So it motivates the student to learn.
I also want to add to what Madam Homo just said, because I realize that anytime a parent visits me, I feel very happy.
Okay.
And I want to give special treatment to that parent's child. Yes, so that at least
well, he is more concerned.
That is it. So sometimes when a parent visits me like that, I make sure that that child at least goes home with something that the parent will also be happy with.
Very
so
good.
I think parents having time for their children's learning will help them to achieve something great.
So how can this parent-teacher relations be enhanced to improve learning outcome?
First of all, to improve this relationship between the teachers and the caregivers, we the teachers, we can do follow-up sometimes to report students' performances and then behaviors to parents. Yes, I think if we communicate this type of information to the caregivers, it will help the parents to also know how to manage their case in the house, which will help the teacher in the long run.
And I also think that there must be some regular meetings between the teachers and the parents so that to be deliberating how to improve the teaching and learning in the school.
And address certain challenges.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I think that parents should visit the schools of their children regularly. This happened to me. We had a PTA meeting at my daughter's school. After the meeting, I decided to just go and visit her in the class. Surprisingly, when I went in, my daughter was not in the class. I didn't know.
Okay.
So I asked the teacher. He said that she's not in class. She was staying with their grandmother. So I called and they explained why she didn't come to school. So, but I didn't know. So if I hadn't gone to visit, it means that she will be absent and I wouldn't know. So it's very good that parents visit their wards teachers.
I also think if we continuously give assignment to children to send home, it will involve parents in assist their wards and even coming to the schools to know, especially difficult tasks where the parents should be involved in solving that task. I think that engagement will be progressive.
I think teachers can find a way of visiting the parents at home to have a good relationship between the teacher and the parent.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
Now that we don't have PTA, that Parent-Teacher Association, but we have PA, Parent Association, do you agree or disagree that this kind of parent-teacher relations can be enhanced?
It can, but it might be very difficult because with the PTA, they start to decide also and discuss on the problems that affect their children's learning, and they come up with solutions for them. And this being maybe individual problem, I think it will be very difficult.
I think with that PA, teachers are not included again.
That is
Yes.
it.
The PA is just parent
So-
association.
Association.
So-
Yeah.
That means they will be deciding what they want to do with their
Young
child at home.
children.
Yes.
And the teachers will also decide at the school level.
And when it
I
happens that
think-
way, to be one-sided.
I think
But
it will
the
even be
teacher-
very difficult organizing that PA meeting because the teachers are always involved in organizing PTA meetings. So if they remove teachers, then I think it will be very difficult even for parents to come together to even know the problems of the school
Yes,
or their
because
children.
sometimes even when the teachers and the head teachers are involved, it's difficult bringing the parents together. Because they are always like, I have farm work, I have this place to go to, and all those stuff.
Excuses.
So they themselves, I don't think they'll be motivated to just sit down and say, we as parents, let's come together and then talk about our children. It will be very difficult to have such
that
But we
one
cite
in
examples
okay.
in terms of the possibilities where we had PTA and this happened, and now that we have PA, what will happen?
In my community, for instance, when this PTA was still active, sometimes when we call for the meeting, on the day of the meeting, you still send the children back home to call them because it will be time and they will not be in.
There.
Then they will go and come back and tell you that my father said he wants to go to the farm and come back, which we can't wait for them. So it's always few that are always present. So you can imagine if it becomes PA.
As Madam said, it will be very difficult and even organize because usually when we call PTA meetings in my school, we provide a book and then a teacher will go around and then write the names of parents who are present at the meeting. And then at the end of it all, we'll know children's parents who were not present. So that is one aspect how teacher monitor their get-togetherness. On the other hand, you tell them the problems confronting your school for them to assist in such problems. So, for instance, if you want writing materials for your children and majority of the students don't have it and it hinders learning process, you tell them this is what is happening in our school. So we are appealing to you to get these things for your children. So in the absence of teachers, I think all these things, in fact, it will not be progressive.
You mean
but,
that the PA
the-
cannot organize meetings by themselves?
They can, especially in the cities.
Okay.
That one there won't
Any
be much
problem.
problem.
Okay.
But with the rural areas, they know each other. They don't take each other seriously. So this you are that. We are always together. That you are calling me for a meeting of our children. So you see that at the end, the attendance will be very small. But in the city, they know the importance of education. And so they can even decide on their own to organize the meetings.
Okay, let's listen to Mr. Wall.
For me, as Mr. Said said, for the urban areas, they can do that. But for the rural areas, I never heard any PTA member coming to school to tell the head teachers or the teachers to organize a PTA meeting to enhance the school improvement. It's always the teachers or the head teachers
Who
will always
initiated?
call the parents,
Yeah.
inform them and fix the date for such meetings.
Okay.
For the villages, it will be very difficult for
Yeah.
them to.
Let's wrap
so-
up. Our time is up. 30 seconds. Mr. Said, just summarize.
What I would like to do is to appeal to parents to take their children's education seriously. Now, with the absence of the PTA, I think if they come together as parents to look at the problems pertaining to their children's education and also solutions to address them, I think it will help their children
Their
to learn
children to
better.
learn better.
I will encourage caregivers and then teachers to always do follow-up, because knowing more about your students will give you the knowledge to prepare well to meet the needs of the child. So it's always good to find more information about the child.
Yes, Chief.
As Madam said, it is very, very important for teachers and parents to have a cordial relationship that will enhance the progress of their learning children.
The children's
For
learning.
me, education is the best gift for a parent to give to a child. So parents should be serious about their children's education.
Thank you very much. Listeners, we have heard from our discussants, and we hope to also think about what we can do to support children's learning in school by ensuring that the relationship between the teachers and the parents are cordial so that the children will benefit from whatever support they are given to their schools. I think teachers and parents should get a platform that will help them be able to relate well for the benefit of their children. Now that we don't have PTA, but they can still get a platform that will help promote their relationship with the parent. Thank you very much for coming. Come next week, this same time, we'll be meeting again to discuss another topic. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Teach to Teach Radio. Teach to Teach Radio. Education for all. For all. For all. Education for all. For all.
Hi, this is Wiyala. I support Teach to Teach because education changes lives, especially for girls. So let's take advantage of the positive impact education can have on our lives, our communities, and our people.
Teach to Teach is produced by Teach2Teach International in collaboration with the Center for Literacy and Vocational Studies, Ronin Africa, and Radio Savannah. You can find Teach2Teach International and Teach2Teach Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.